Hello, access. Hello, hello. Let's just give a few minutes for others to join in before we start. Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. So I always like to upload people that are here because this is actually a time where you're supposed to be probably in a lounge, sitting somewhere, trying to, enjoy yourself and all of that. But you decided to be here to be a part of this class and prepare yourself for the week. So welcome and congratulations to you. Okay, welcome, Bright. Good evening to you guys too. Chinimera, Andrew, Benson. Good evening. Please, I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. Please let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me. I like to test out this audio before we proceed. All right, very well. You can hear me. So, it doesn't matter how many people are online right now. I think we're just going to proceed. We're given a bit of time already, so I think 5 minutes should be fine, right? Just one more minute, then we proceed, so that I can let you guys go have your evenings. I'll probably go have my own evening as well. The night is still young, so um, we're going to start today's class with talking about NFP. Um, NFP that happened on Friday. Fortunately, NFP happened on the first day of the new month. It's usually every first Friday of the month, right? And it happens that this first Friday was the 1st of August, which was a beautiful day. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people cashed out during the NFP, right? If I'm not mistaken, a lot of people cashed out. As in, the chart was so clean, so obvious. And if you didn't cash out, please, if you hit stop loss, don't be shy. Let me see. Just raise your hand in the comment section. Just use that hand emoji like this. Identify yourself if you hit stop loss during this NFP. If you were selling during the NFP, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Just raise your hands. Let's identify with you. If you were selling and or if you did not take any trade, let's see your hands up. Because like NFP was literally free money. That one was literally free money. So we're gonna go into that where I'm going to share with you guys. Um, I traded gold. I'm going to show you guys how or why, and also tell you guys how I feel about the forex market when it comes to trading news. Right? How I usually approach news when I want to trade news. I don't usually trade news like that, but when I want to trade it, there's an approach that I have in the market, which is a very simple approach. I don't try to complicate it. I'm not really much of a fundamental trader like that, but you need to you need to add up everything together, both fundamentals and technicals, right? So I'll tell you guys how I trade my news, and then okay, I'm beginning to see hands up. Some people took I can see that some people actually took stuff in SL. See, it's not just you. I know some big mentors that also took SL as well, right? That's the thing. Sometimes our analysis can come out different. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I hope you did not blow an account or you only lost what you were able to or could afford to lose. You know, that's the story, but most of us don't always, we always lose more than we can afford. But anyways, um, let's go into it. Let's go into it. So, like I said, we're going to start today's class talking about the NFP, generally how I approach news, and then we go into what we have for today, right? Two phases. Then we'll go into question and answers. Right. So we're going to be trying to be fast today, less than 1 hour, 30 minutes, 30 minutes to 40 minutes. We should be done with today's class. So okay, someone said I could not find a buy confirmation at GBP. Now, let me tell you guys what happened. Now, when I was trading that news on Friday, I think I traded it in class live with my advanced students. We were live in class when we traded that news. So I did not see a confirmation entry, but I just entered. I just entered the buy like that because I knew that market was going to buy. So the way I approach news is very simple. Yeah, when I'm trading fundamentals, NFP, CPI, those are really high volatile news, right? All those other ones, PPI, all those ones do come, but they're not as volatile as this particular two, right? For now. So, you know, when you are on Forex Factory or my FX book, you're looking for the data that are going to come out either hawkish or dovish, whatever. The thing is, most times when that data comes out, it's usually within seconds, right? The reaction of the market comes pretty fast. So when you see the news result out, before you would turn back to go and check your MT5, trust me, that chart is gone, right? That chart is way gone. So most times we try to get in before the news is being released. So what I do basically is that I analyze the chart technically, because for the past months and a few years, I would say, maybe a year or so, that I've been following up on news, I have come to realize that technical analysis or the news is just an excuse to move the market in the direction where the market is supposed to go to, right? So if that's the case, why do I have to struggle with the outcome of the news while I know that it is just an excuse, right? So I just analyze the chart as it is supposed to be and technically follow the chart that way, right? So let's get to the chart now. Let's go to the dollar index and let me show you guys what I was looking at before I made my decision on buying, right? So let me share my screen now. Guys, let me know please if my screen is up. So I'm going to start with the dollar index. Okay. So I'm sharing the dollar index right now. So please let me know if you can see my screen before I proceed. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Brand new said he made a small profit. Oh yeah, I didn't make much that day. So I didn't make much. So like I told my students here, if I'm trading news, I just fund a little bit money in separate account, and I trade the that account like go hard or go home. So I just made very small money too as well, but at least we made something that day. All right. So since you guys can see my screen, let's proceed, right? So let's get into it. Now let's start from the 4-hour time frame. So this was the reaction of the market. You see all this sell that we had, right, was the reaction of the market. So let me show you guys what happened before the news, how the market was before the news. So we were like this before the news. So let's come down to the 1-hour time frame now. So this was what we had before the news actually played out. And if you go back to a daily time frame, no, the replay is gone. Let's go back to the 4 hours right now. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame, yeah, what can you see basically? Like I said, I approach the market by just understanding the structure. That's how I approach news, right? By understanding the structure. The same thing with understanding your highs and your lows, your break of structure and everything. So you ask yourself, where am I currently on the chart? Because that's what the market is going to do. So here, when I saw this, I could tell that, yeah, we're in an uptrend. Obviously, we have changed character from a downtrend to an uptrend. We have broken out of this channel. So the market is what? Bullish, right? Now, that's phase one. So now understanding that the market is bullish, the next phase is where am I on the chart currently? Now, this is what I mean. We can see that we created a new impulsive move. right? Market gave an impulsive move at this point, broke this structure, a very shallow retracement, then plunged higher again, right? So this is considered as a pullback, but not a retracement. Now, market got to this point. This exact point where the market was, if you can see clearly, you can see that the market was given what we call a wedge pattern, a rising wedge pattern, right? Which is a reversal sign. A reversal sign. When you see a wedge pattern like this, the market is about to reverse. That is one criteria. Secondly, you could also tell that as the market is creating a higher high, so we're in a, like the people that use all this RSI, all this, and they'll tell you we're in an overbought level, right? So the market has created a new high, which we're expecting the next move to be a what? A correction move, right? So after a higher high, we'll have a what? A higher low. Is that also? So obviously the structure is already telling you that we're expecting the market to drop. And then we are seeing a chart pattern forming that tells us that the market is about to drop. So all these confluences are just to tell you that when the news comes up, all right, it is an excuse. You will not find the news pushing this price higher again because we're already highly in an overbought area or region. The market, except for exceptional cases, but following structure as the market always does, or the fundamentals always does, we are expected to see what? A bearish momentum move, right? So when that happened, when the news was released, this was exactly what we saw. So if we are having a bearish dollar with the release of the news, it then means that every XXX USD is going to be bullish. That's what it means. GBP USD is going to be bullish. Euro USD is going to be bullish. Gold is going to be bullish. Those are the main pairs that we trade, right? Then USD CAD, because USD now is on the base, so USD CAD, USD JPY are all going to be bearish, right? So amongst all of them, what you do is just choose the one that has a better structure for you to understand or get an entry from. So I chose gold because gold was fast. Gold is obviously always fast and has more pip count, right? So let's look at the outcome of the news right here. And we all know what happened at the end, right? So let me switch to the gold chart. So for the other person, there's somebody in the comment that was saying he did not get a good entry on GU. That was why he did not enter. Now, I did not get a good entry as well. I was just in the class we were teaching. I think this was exactly where I entered from here, right? So when the time for the news was really close, I was actually waiting for like a small pullback before I enter, but I know how this news works sometimes. Sometimes you will not, that pullback you're looking for, you may not get it. It will just start moving and you will just be lost in it, right? So what I did was I entered one position here and I was waiting if they release the news. And sometimes the news, it does like a double-edged sword, right? It would come down and go up again. Should it come down, then I'll activate another position before it goes. But when the news just came out straight up, and I ran away somewhere around here because of this order block, but the market gave even more. So that's that basically on news. So if I'm trying to trade news, what I just do to make it easy for myself is just to what? Understand the structure of the market, right? I just want to see the highs, the lows, if there's any imbalance there, because sometimes the market will come and feel that imbalance before it goes to the direction of the market, right? So basically understand your structure, understand the strategy, then just wait for the outcome of the news, because the news will always follow the precision of the market. Basically, most times you can go and back test it, go and check last month's NFP, go and check the month before that. Just go check. You'll see that most times the news goes in the direction of the market. If the market have created much higher highs, you will expect a higher low. If it is in a low position, you expect a new high to be generated. That's basically how the market moves with news, right? So done that, been there, let's go to the next thing. So now we're going to go into the next phase by looking at what we have for today, right? So we're going to go back to the dollar index and start all over from there. Right, so where are we now on the dollar index? Starting with the dollar index. So this is where we are currently. We're still very much bearish. Now, if you look at the holistic view or the holistic structure of the dollar index, we are overall still bullish. Yes, we're still bullish because we have had a very clean change of character, and this is more like a correction move. But because of the news we had, it looks like a very massive impulsive sell about to start, right? However, we cannot still say we have changed character, because obviously we're broken this high, we're moving in a bullish phase right now. So what I'm expecting more on the dollar index is a bit more pull to the downside. Yeah, we want to see more sells, maybe coming back to this area or it, but let us get back into the smaller time frame to see where exactly price is going to react to. But obviously the first place we're going to expect price to react to is this. This is going to serve as a breaker block, because this is a daily time frame, obviously. So we had this order block area right here, which the market broke out of, and we expected a correction, but it did not happen, right? So we broke out of this. Now we're expecting market to come back to respect this breaker block and continue going up. Now that is exactly where we are on the chart. So we expect more push, but then again, we just want to see the smaller time frame to give us precise areas where we can expect a reversal continuation for the dollar index, right? So if we come down to the 4-hour time frame, that is exactly where we are. There is a pool of liquidity in this area that I'm still expecting price to come sweep all out. And in this zone, remember, this is the area we have that breaker block on the daily time frame, right? And you can see even on the 1-hour time frame, or sorry, the 4-hour, we have another breaker block that the market should come into, right? So we go down a little bit more to the 1-hour time frame, and here I can now adjust this a little bit, bring it down here, bring this down here. And remember this line, this trend line you're seeing, this trend line is coming from the channel that I drew on the daily time frame. So when you have this kind of channels like this, because with me, I combine both chart patterns with the SMC concept, right? So we see price coming back down. So it's more like a retest back on the trend line, basically just extra confirmation, extra confidence, right? So a retest back on the trend line for us to continue pushing to the upside. But then again, on the smaller time frames, this is exactly what we're going to be looking at. Now, these are small, or what we call minor areas of interest, or minor support levels that price may not really can easily break, actually. But depending on the structure we're seeing, depending on the week's rejection, these places might hold, because remember that this is a reaction from the daily time frame, where we have a breaker block on the daily time frame, and there's a pool of liquidity here, and we have another we have imbalance there, obviously, and we have what we call an order block area of interest as well in this region, right? So obviously you're beginning to see how market is giving some form of reaction, right? Rejection pulls around this area. However, if the market should open, we expect a little bit of a pullback, and I expect market to drop some more, maybe come back into this area before I see a total turnaround for the market to continue going up. So yes, I'm expecting more bearish move before we change to a bullish continuation pattern on the dollar index. Now, if this is my analysis on the dollar index, you know what it's going to be like. On Euro USD, we expect more bullish move before a bearish move, right? So let's check out Euro USD first. Let's check out Euro USD, starting out from the daily time frame. This is like a total reversal, right, to the upside. Weekly time frame, yeah, weekly gives us something better. Now, on a weekly time frame, we have been very bullish, but we're changing character to the downside, right? Obviously, we have not changed completely, but we're on the verge of it. So it's either we're going to have that push to the upside, or market's still going to respect and then continue dropping should the dollar index obey what we're actually anticipating from it. Excuse me. All right, let's double down to smaller time frames now. So the momentum is high, right? Very bullish, and you can see a money star forming. So just like I said on the dollar index, I'm expecting some more bullish move before we have any form of rejection to the downside. Obviously, we've broken structure, we've changed character from here. This was the last low that created this high, and market has broken it. Now we expect more bearish, a total bearish continuation. Excuse me. But then again, just like we're seeing over there, we want to see some more bullish pull to the upside, right? We have a lot of breaker blocks that was not respected. So this is the one we can find on the dollar, on the Euro USD right here. Right, this is it. So I want to see price push into the zone before. Now, in this kind of zones, you're not expected to just snipe it. No, I wouldn't expect to snipe it. I wouldn't want to snipe it from this zone, like get an entry or whatsoever. No, I want to see candlestick confirmations. Yeah, smaller time frame confirmations, because this market is a market that is coming from a high volatile news. So when we have situations like that, especially on Mondays after a Friday crazy news like this, should be a Monday that you should trade less and let the market settle in, because there's going to be so much uncertainty. See, this Monday, I'm projecting that a lot of traders will hit so many stop losses. Why? Because especially when you're trading USD related pairs. Why? Because you maybe have that happy finger to trade because it's Monday, you want to jump into trades. But remember that whenever there is news, the market takes its time to consolidate. It takes its time to adjust itself back to get better structures. So I would strongly advise and suggest that you play the role of what spectator, unless you are seeing a very clear signal. Else, just let the market breathe. Let it do its thing. Let it rearrange itself. Let more candles be printed. Candles are information. We are price action traders. We trade pure price action, right? We just use candles for analysis. So let the candles give you a lot more information you would need. Every candle gives out an information. So let it print out so much information for you for that Monday, so that Tuesday trading will be a lot easier, a lot sweeter, to get good entries. However, we're still going to have our projections to just see what the market will do. So obviously, coming from the higher time frame as well, this zone is going to be a zone I'm going to be looking out for when we push up some more. Right now, when we get to this zone, what do I expect? Smaller time frame market structure shifts, and that is where I know, okay, we are going to get an entry for either a sell right at this point. But for now, I'm just going to wait to see the reaction of the market and how it reacts when it gets to this point, because Monday can be crazy. Last week Monday was a very crazy Monday, right? That was where we had all these sells on Euro USD. The market just opened and it was a crazy drop. 1, 2, 3 long ass candles, right? On a single Monday, like as the moment the market opened, we just had all of this fall. So if you were not able to catch that sell, it's going to be crazy. Like my robot was trading on this, and we took some losses because of this massive sell that just happened that day. So my suggestion on XXS USD, just chill out, right? But so many other pairs will present other opportunities for you to trade, obviously, so you don't have to be idle totally. Right, so these are the things that I would expect on Euro USD. The same thing on GBP USD. So I'm going to leave that as well, because I'm not expecting so much from them right now. Let me just go to the pair that I'm expecting something, so that we don't waste much time. GBP JPY. Yep. All right, let me know, guys. I'm back on GBP JPY. Can we see the screen? All right, we're on GBP JPY. Now, this is going to be interesting going for GBP JPY. So let's start from the daily time. But before that, let me remind you guys, last week I had a projection on GBP JPY where I said I was about to catch a sell from this zone right here, right? We're going to bring it all the way down to this zone. If you remember, I had another sell buy zone here, right? But last week, Friday, as you can see, the market came into that zone and whipped it away, right? The zone was supposed to be a zone where I expect price to give me some candlestick reaction before we continue to buy. So obviously, we're going to still continue bearish, the bearish momentum on GBP JPY. So where is my next target now? This is the next target, right, for any sort of consolidation before a move. But let me show you guys what I'm looking at from the daily time frame. So let's start from here. Now, accumulation, right? We've had this massive accumulation on GBP JPY. That was what I was expecting, all that sell right before the buy from this zone. Now we can see that this zone did not hold. This order block did not hold. The second zone did not hold. So obviously we're still going to go bearish. Now the daily time frame is giving us a very beautiful price action. Very beautiful. What are we seeing here? It's very obvious, right? You can see the sweep right here. This is the candle that pushed up, closed, and then the next candle dropped, right? So this is the kind of entry that I use on normal smaller time frames, right? I'm dropping a video maybe tomorrow or next. Tomorrow or next, I'm going to drop a video here on YouTube showing you guys how I use this kind of candlestick entries, right? I'm going to break it down as much as I can. Now, this is one aspect of that kind of entry. Now, whenever I see this kind of impulsive, then market drops back into the structure, I can either take it immediately the candle close, or I wait for a 50% move. But in this kind of situation, you cannot just take a sell here. Obviously, this is a daily time frame. This is where the close happen. You cannot, right? So what we're going to do now is to wait for what? The rearrangement for the distribution. Now we've had an accumulation phase here, a massive one. This accumulation started since if we start looking from this candle from 25th of July, right, down to this point, down to, sorry, that 25th, sorry, 8th of July, right, down till 31st of July, we had this massive accumulation. Obviously, I've thought, especially my student, I think I've taught you guys about accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. And one of the basic criteria of it is if we're accumulating in a bullish phase, right, after a long bullish move like this, and the market start accumulating, obviously, the result of that accumulation usually will be a correction down, and that's what we're seeing, right? If we get a manipulating like this, right, you can backtest that and check. You can go and verify according to my able president. You can go and verify. Now, having seen the accumulation, the manipulation, now we're going to wait for the distribution. We're going to join in on the distribution. So all we just have to do now is to wait for a price to react, right, by giving us a pullback, a correction, whatever you want to call it. But then again, while price is going to do that, we can take trades from these areas, right? So coming down to lower time frame, we can see here that price is already acting up in this phase, giving us more engineered liquidity for this area right here, this particular low and this particular order block, right? That's why I have this zone. So let me take out this one to reduce all this noise. Take out all of this. I hope you guys are with me. All right, so I'm going to take out this noise. And then what do I expect here? So I want to see price, maybe when the market opens now, pull up a little bit, then drop down into this zone. From here will be a good place for me to join a buy. Why would that be? Now, this buy is a corrective buy, not the trend. You can see how impulsive this sell is, right? So this is the trend, this is the direction, this is where the momentum is, the sell. However, this market is going to react. It's going to pull back. It's going to correct a little bit for us to see that correction. Now, if you go back to the daily time frame, I'll be expecting a 50% correction phase here, somewhere like this. Market dropping, pulling back all the way to this point, right, for a correction, and depending on how the candles has been printed. But that does not mean we cannot get in on this buy. However, this is where I'm expecting the buy to come from, this area, right? So it has engineered some liquidity here, maybe pull up a bit like this, and then I see price drop into this zone, and this is the area where I'm going to join in on the buy, and it has to be a very tight buy. You can buy up all to this point where you have like a breaker block here, or you can hold up onto this point depending on the structure that is being created as the market continues, right? So pretty much the setup of the week for me, this is what I'm going to really be following up on. GBP JPY. I want to see price drop down here. Then if I can get a buy to join all the way for the next continuation sell, totally. So this is it on GBP JPY. I think I had something else on which pair was that? Okay, USD CHF. Yep, USD CHF. Yeah, so USD CHF, the same thing, right? The opposite of what Euro USD is doing. These were all the projections we did two classes ago when we had this buy zone here, and market did appropriately as we expected, right? And now we have a very similar thing to what we're seeing on the GBP JPY pair, right? A very nice sweep, right, from here. A very nice sweep from here. So this is our protected order block, right? This is the 4-hour chart, and then this is the zone right here. So I want to expect price to do its thing from here. Then give me a reaction all the way here for something like this. Now, what I'll be anticipating on USD CHF. Yeah. Then on gold, let's check out gold. So for gold, we are pretty much bullish. Now, remember, the gold does not really follow the dollar index much like that. The only time I follow up, I merge the dollar index with gold is when I'm trading news, because anytime there's news, high impact news like this, whatever the dollar index is doing, the gold follows the opposite direction. That one is certain, right? But during the normal market situations, gold has a mind of its own. So I'm going to presume deadly that gold is still very much bullish, very much bullish, right? We're probably going to start seeing a new high, because if you look at this very well from the much higher time frame, we've been in a very consolidating phase, right? Market has been consolidating around this region, creating these nice structural highs, but we can see that the momentum is shifting, right? There's been a liquidity shift, a sweep from here, and we're very much bullish. So our case is to just find way and join the bullish move. Now, where do we want to get our next entries from? Obviously, not this point. So I'm going to be looking at this from the 4-hour zone, which is like a breaker block for us here, right? Now, this is the kind of one, because there is high momentum in the market. We may not expect a very complete correction phase right now. We might see price just giving us a mid-range retracement. Maybe market is going to react to this high, push up a little bit when the market opens, pushes up like this, then we get a sell all the way back to this point, this area, for another buy move again. So I'm not expecting price to do all this bearish momentum correction, but it can still happen anyways, right? But this place, this zone is going to be a very significant zone. So let's get it down to the 2-hour first of all. So even on the 2-hour, it's still very much significant, right? You can see the breaker block is still there. And if you look at it on the 1-hour as well, we still have that breaker block there. So 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour all confirms this zone to be a significant zone. So yes, when price pushes up and changes character, I can finally get a sell, or I wait for price to come down here. If I don't get that sell confirmation, wait for it from this point, we get up to the next zone, right? To the next one. So that's that on gold. So these are pretty much the pairs that I have. So let's look at some of the ones that you guys have. Someone is calling out on CAD JPY. So let's check CAD JPY. Let's see what it got for us. CAD J, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. CAD JPY is very similar to what GBP JPY is doing. They have JPYs as their quote currencies, right? So let's start from the daily time frame. Very similar. So we're still seeing ourselves in a very bearish scenario. Now from the daily time frame, you can see the sweep has happened. Nice looking at sweep, right? So yes, like the very similar example explanation to what we had on GBP JPY. Obviously, we're just going to wait for a retracement to join the sell, right? So let's come down to the daily 4 hours and see. Now, these kind of entries can be very tricky. Why? Because you can look here and see that we don't have that very clear structure we're expecting price. The last structure you're seeing here is this high, and in most cases price may not get to this high. Trust me, when it does get here, let me show you what it's going to look like on the daily time frame. When you see another candle, especially one candle or two candles, let's say one candle pull up like this, then the next candle close opens and pull up like this, getting to this point. Trust me, when you see two candles like this, just know that we may not even get a retracement. We may just have what? A continuation all the way up. So that is why most times you see the 50% or even the body, the open of this one will suffice as what? Entry point. But all of this is determined by what we see on smaller time frames. So I come down to 4 hour and check. Now I begin to streamline from the 4 hour, and where we can see here that we have one nice breaker block here. Because of all the things that happened on Friday, market structure, did not, all these other blocks, all those things were not respected. Market just broke through everything. So now we can see how market is going to go back and react to those areas. Right, so this is one point, and if we check out this point on the daily time frame, this zone, to see what this zone looks like, you can see that this zone is around the open of this candle, around that area. So it might just suffice, because you might be seeing price come to this direction like this. Price will come up, right, and start reversing from here. On the daily time frame, it looks good, it looks normal, right? But if you come down to maybe a 2 hour time frame, to you it may not look normal, right? Because you've been wanting in this region for it to turn back from. Besides, I still have imbalance up there, I still have this and that, but sometimes the market can react with the higher time frame zones, right? So the only point, the only zone that is standing properly, that will be inside the structure, will be this one right here, this one. So I'm going to take off this one because I'm not going to make use of it. This zone right here. Now what I would do is to go back to the daily time frame and look at this zone if it makes any sense. Well, you can see that, right? Perfect sense. It's around the 50% of this bullish order block, this order block, this bull candle rather, right? This bullish candle that formed this order block. This is where we're going to have the 50% area, and there's an order block sitting on the wall right there. Basically, this is going to be the area of interest for the next sell. However, we can get a buy if the market permits us. Then the next zone you should be looking out for on the higher time frame is this one right here. So we're going to be finding our way to trade a sell down to this zone, or market sells down to this zone, then we get a buy to this upper zone here. That's a period. So this is a very interesting one. It's something to definitely look out for. Something to definitely look out for. All right. All right, so that's that on CAD JPY. So we've got let's see Euro JPY, then AUD. So two people on Euro JPY. So let's check out Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Okay. Let me see the weekly time frame. All right, weekly time frame is telling me a sell. It's giving me a sell direction already, because it's reacting to this high right here. Market is reacting to this high, and we've had a very massive bullish momentum, and now we're having a correction, right? That's the weekly time frame. So come down to the daily time frame. The daily time frame, we're also getting a bearish momentum move, right? The candles are already speaking bearish to us, right? So we had this wedge, this rising wedge from the daily time frame, and after the wedge, we can see the drop. Market has pushed back up, and now it's still dropping all the way. So yes, we're still looking very much bearish. So let's see how we can get better ways to get entries if we're still very much bearish, right? Okay, for the 4 hour, this looks okay, but here's the thing now. Here's the thing. So yes, we are bearish. Yes, we're seeing a bearish momentum, but then again, you can see how market is reacting to this order block here, right? Now, this should not be much of a problem anyways. If you want to just understand where we are bearish, like the bearish momentum, or to confirm that yes, we're going to be looking for more sales, what we want to see is price breaking below this high, this low rather. So when the market opens, maybe a little bit of a push, but I want to see a break below this low. So we have a board, a break of structure, a continuation, right? A break of structure. When I have that break of structure, I have a new trading range. So all I'm going to do now is to wait within the break, the trading range to get a what? A sell setup. That's it. Because as at now, what we're seeing on the chart or what the market is giving us right now is yes, we're in a bearish move, but the bearish move is still not confirmed yet for the next wave, right? You can see that the market pushed up, dropped, probably want to even buy up again to maybe a zone somewhere around here whatsoever, right? But for us to say that, okay, we're still bearish and want to look for more sells, it is going to be wise to wait for price to break this low, right? When price breaks this low, we have a new breaker structure, we have a new trading range, then we look for areas of interest to join the correction and then join the sell. So that's what I can see right now on Euro JPY. So let's check the next one, which is fair value gap. On which particular pair are you talking about? Fair value gap on which pair? Or are you talking about the fair value gap video I promised you guys? Yeah, I gave a poll on that. I'm going to create. I already started making the video. Fair value gap is going to be a video. I'll post it here on YouTube for us. So the next pair is AUD card. I think this is going to be the last one for you. AUD card. I don't know how some of you guys find this pair so interesting to trade. Like, really? Like, really? What exactly are you looking for in AUD card, my brother? Okay, I see something here. The weekly time frame is actually bearish, and price is reacting to, yes, a very good area, a very good zone, a resistance zone, a very good, should I say, supply zone actually. Yeah, a very strong supply zone. So market is reacting there, but then again, this reaction that I'm seeing here, the wicks are on the downside, which suggests that price will push up, but the whole structure is giving us a bearish move structure. So let's go down and streamline this. Come down to the daily time frame. Yes, market is ranging. This is a very strong range, a very strong range, right? This whole market is ranging right here. Hold up, hold up. This is a daily time frame range. Okay, so if I push this a bit higher to the body side, we might just have something. Okay, so inside this range, so like I mentioned earlier when I was talking about accumulation, manipulation, and distribution, this is an accumulation phase. And where does this accumulation actually point? This accumulation is in a resistant level. So definitely we'll be expecting a what? A sell out. Like when the break happens, the break should be a sell. But if we're going to have a manipulation, the manipulation is going to be what? A buy, a bullish manipulation before we have the sell, right? To take out this high and then do what? You see this order block come for the body mitigation. So let's see the 4 hour. If this significant line, let's go back here and see if we have something really significant here. Oh yeah. Yep. Perfect. So this is it. So this might be where price is coming to mitigate for the manipulation. So this is what I'm going to be expecting. Sorry, I was saying there was nothing in this AUD card. There's actually something here. There's actually something here. All right, there's actually something here. This is the zone. There's actually something, bro. And all of this liquidity, right? Let me see if the pip counts 38 pips, 40 pips randomly. So this is where we'll buy from. Now, let me explain something. So I can have a buy entry here, right? A position right here, a long position, and then market will pull up like this. But two things are involved. There's a way this one is going to go. What pair is this? Okay. What time frame is this? Let me see. 4 hours. Okay. There's a way this thing is going to go here. Um, this is what I'm looking at here. Hold on. No, I'm not seeing that. The same AED card. Okay, so there's a way this thing is going to go, right? If we're following by that higher time frame, which is this, we want to see this manipulation on price cleaning out this high liquidity right here, sweeping out this liquidity for the drop. Now, if we have price splash down without even going to sweep this liquidity, then this order block may not hold, right? This buy zone may not hold. Market can just react to it and then sweep it away, right? But if we have, oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say was if we have price do this, sweep does not come to sweep and just move up, right? Mitigate this zone and drops back into the structure. We might have something like this, price drop, react to this zone, and still continue its drop, right? But if we don't, and the market gradually comes in to this zone first, this might be the catalyst that will push price to go and sweep this high, mitigate this zone for the full drop, right? For the full drop. So this is what I'm going to be anticipating on AUD card. This one, someone sent me something on AUD card still here on 4 hour. Okay, you're looking at price. Okay, this is what I see what you're looking at here. Let me explain that. You're looking at this 4 hour order block right here. A break of structure, this price breaking structure here, right? Yeah, correct. And then having this order block as an entry. Now, this is when we are trying to get into smaller time frames for us to get, yes, sell positions, right? So this is basically in line with what I'm saying, right? So you want to have a sell here, something like this, right? So where are you taking that sell to? Still the same thing, down to this zone right here. So this is where I'm going to be taking the sell to, obviously, down to this zone. And this sell is going to come sweep out all the liquidity engineered here and then mitigating this point for a buy. So both are still very much valid. In fact, this sell should come down to mitigate this buy for us to go and mitigate the upper liquidity right there. So actually, there's something here and something really, really worth looking out for on AUD card. Right? It's a very sweet one, yeah. Yeah, so let me take out this one first, and let's say this is the one that you're going to be working with at first, the sell zone. So let me see 1 hour. Yep, we still have it valid on 1 hour, valid on 2 hour. So yeah, this should be it. This should be it. Get a sell from this point, and then we'll set it down to this buy point here. Buy from there. So that would be it. That is pretty much it. Yep. I've seen it. We've touched it. All right. So this is pretty much what we can take for tonight. I'm pretty sure this week is going to be very exciting as well. From Tuesday, we're going to have our normal live class again, live session where we could get to take some trades. Last week, we took a trade, I think. Yeah, I shared a setup on Tuesday. The week before that, we also got a setup on Tuesday. So hopefully, this week is going to be the same or even better. We'll get better setups to trade, right? I didn't want this class to be this long. But if you got value from it, make sure you hit the like button. Uh, the video is still going to be uploaded for you guys to still check out again if you want to. So without any other waste of our time, we're not wasting time actually. I know some people are eager to just leave so that they can go and do one or two things. So we're going to call it a night here. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Bye for now.